Elizabeth is a vintage steam lorry. She works on the island of Sodor, taking bits and bobs elsewhere for other people. Long ago, she was bought by Sir Tomhat I and is still owned by him to this day. However, in recent years, he stopped traveling as much, so he decided to lend Elizabeth to other companies. Elizabeth was happy to be out and about, but most of all, she was happy to be useful. One day, she was working at Brentham Docks, where she spotted a group of rude lorries talking to the other engines. The engines didn't look very happy to see them, and to be fair, Elizabeth didn't either. When the lorries cleared out, Elizabeth came to see what was wrong. "I say," she began, "what were those rude things?"
"New lorries," James began. "Supposedly to replace the old ones. The biggest difference is they're much more talkative than the old ones were. And they don't say nice things. They say they want to replace us all. They called me a lump of scrap iron."
I don't give out warnings because it's not my style, but I do warn you, be careful around them. Little buggers could be anywhere. "Most bizarre," she began. "But don't you worry, I won't let these silly things get the best of me." And she drove away. When working at the flour mill, she was surprised to see one of the lorries taking her place. "I say," she began, "that load was meant for me."
Not anymore, Grandma. You're too old. You can't do the work. Us new diesel lorries are taking your place.
And the rude lorry drove away. Even the other lorries didn't like him. "I say, Molly, we can't let these ruffians keep taking our jobs like this," she announced. Molly wasn't so sure.
"I don't know, Elizabeth. Times are changing, and we can't keep up with these lorries."
Elizabeth quickly tried going up to the quarry, but the same outcome was up there. The horrid lorries had taken her work once again. Mavis could sympathize, as Toby had to deal with them earlier. Poor Elizabeth thought she'd never be useful again. She even tried to find work at the fishing village, but the lorries had somehow beaten her there too.
We're doing your work now, because you're too old and slow. Now, watch how a real lorry gets things done.
The quote-unquote real lorry forgot he was in reverse and crashed into the sea.
"Oh, oh!"
Spluttered the lorry.
"Get me out! Get me out!"
But it was no good. "Oh, you're stuck all right," laughed one of the workmen. "We'll have to get you out by barge." "Oh, great," said another. "How are we supposed to get all this fish to Brentham Docks without a lorry?" "We already have a lorry," he said, pointing towards Elizabeth. Men soon crowded around Elizabeth with crates full of fish, loading her up, ready for Brentham Docks. And soon she was off. It was smelly work, but work nonetheless. She was just happy to be useful again. But as she arrived at Brentham Docks, she was surprised to see the other lorries, all banged up on the quayside. And as if to add insult to injury, Butch came in with another. And soon, they were all laughing about how the three brothers Grimm crashed, broke, and sunk themselves to bits. The railway soon got back to normal, and the lorries were sent packing. Now both the railways and the roads work harder to make sure they never come back.